Hello, hello. So, my beautiful darlings, do I have a teaching for you? Your feelings might not be valid. Oh no, everyone's feelings have to be valid, right? Like, do you ever get that? Like, you're noticing everyone's like, your feelings are valid. Okay, well, what are feelings? If you really knew where feelings came from, then you would realize that not all feelings are valid. Now, all feelings are valid in the fact that they match the person's, here it is, attitude, their perception, the way that they're seeing things. So your feelings going to match the way that you're seeing things. And when it comes to healing, you do actually have to let these parts of you know that they're valid. But that's only because of how they see things. And now a lot of us, we have crazy ideas about how the universe works. You know, blanket beliefs about everyone is this and no one is that and nothing is this. Where we just make these judgments about how the world is instead of seeing it for what it really is. So that means that if you have a perception that's skewed and maybe you're just being extremely jealous or something, which, you know, is a hard thing to have to go through, and it is something that can be healed and cleared. But jealousy often shows up as just hatred. People don't know that they're jealous. They just think they hate the person. But it's actually because they secretly like them and they see light in that person and they believe that they can't be like it. But just as an example, let's say that it's jealousy. Well, their feeling of hating that person is only a valid response to what they're feeling, but not valid in the fact that it should be agreed with. You know what I mean? So this whole pussyfooting around people saying, oh, you're valid, your feelings are valid, this is valid, that is valid. Why? A lot of the time it's not valid. And yeah, it doesn't mean that they don't deserve compassion. But at the same time, when you understand how feelings work, which we're about to go into right now, then you'll see what I mean. Now, even if you're a teacher, if you like teach on manifestation or law of attraction or spirituality or success, still listen, because a lot of my clients are teachers, they're healers, they've created success in their business, in their lives, but they're just ready to create real success. And I don't mean real success as in money, although money is a definite byproduct of what I do with my clients, for sure. But money shouldn't be the prize or the focus. And my clients are sick of putting money up on a pedestal where they're willing to ruin their lives in a way, put their health last, maybe sometimes stop exercising, become distant in relationships. All these sorts of things happen when you focus so heavily on your business and your money because you want to make it work. But this is coming from the push, instead of trusting that you have space and time to rest, that you have space and time to take it in the way that actually feels right for you. Except when you're in the push through stage, it will feel right for you to push through and that feeling will feel valid. But it's because you have an invalid belief, which is against how God sees you or how the universe actually works. So think of it like this. The universe is like a big traffic map. So traffic lights, stop signs, pedestrian walkings, right? If you hop in your car and you don't know the rules, you don't know that a stop sign, a stop light, that red means stop, which, let's be real, red should actually mean go because our brain sees red as go, but that's for another story. So we don't know that if you don't know what the stop signs mean, then, or if you don't pay any attention to them, or if you think they're stupid and just ignore them, you're going to drive around that reality on that map, causing chaos, causing accidents, causing things to just not work out. And this is what the universal laws are like. There are very real rules and laws, and it's so much better than we've ever imagined. It's so much better than what we're taught. The universe is actually benevolent and works in your favor. It always says yes. So God, the divine, infinite spirit, Mother Nature, the 0-point field is designed as a feedback loop to always say yes to you. So this is why if you say, I want this, I want, what you're saying is, I don't have. And all the universe can do is reflect back to you I don't have. So be very careful. I actually really do say cancel, clear, delete. Anytime that you hear say, I want da 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 da, and literally just let you say, I'm going to have. Okay, so even though that's in the future tense, you're locking it in now, saying it's already on its way. It's like making a delivery on Amazon or any company where you make your purchase and you know it's on its way. You know it's going to arrive. So it's not like you have to have it in this very second, because you know it's coming. So you can say, I'm going to have a package delivered. And that's still present moment because the order's already put in and the delivery service is already delivering it to you. Now, this is actually how the universe works. But we have so many negative beliefs and fears and overthinking that overrun us, that we just sabotage the whole thing. Some out of perceived perception that what we want isn't safe. Others just because we don't know how to think right. So, I'm Kai Clifford. I'm your spiritual guide and energy alchemist. And I help my clients to release all the blocks in the way of their success. This means clearing anxiety and emotional problems, which is really where it's all at, because your money is actually connected to your emotions, your relationship, and whether it thrives, whether you're a great girlfriend, wife, partner. It all depends on your emotions, not on the other person, unless, you choose a real dud. But even then, that was because of your own emotions. You chose that person, right? So your relationships with people, the way your body is, it all comes down to your emotions, to the way that you feel, to the way that you act, to the way that you think things work. So your feelings are actually just a result. Okay, let me start again. Okay. Your feelings are just a result of the thoughts you think and whether they're in alignment with universal law or not. So universal law is also called psychological law. Psychological law is the law of the universe, because it's not the universe is doing things to you. God is doing things to you separately. Your psychology determines the universe that you're in, the world, and the way that it's reflected back to you. So it's really important that you understand that it is all coming from you, and that if it wasn't, then you'd be in a lot of trouble. You know why? Because then you'd be a poor little victim and you wouldn't be able to change a single thing. But if you take full responsibility, knowing that you have maybe some victim mentality where you blame others for what's happening to you, or blame the weather for whether you're happy or not, or blame the money for whether you can do it or not, or blame this and that. Even, I know, with the most traumatic situations, you can bring it in. It really still has to do with your karma, with your emotional currents in your soul, which is a part of your karma, for what you attract into your life. And everything that you attract into your life is for your best and highest good. Especially suffering, all of it really, but suffering. Because suffering is designed to help wake you up. It's static on the line. It's just as is fear. So if you're pushing through work, you're working. But you're feeling, gotta get this done. I was just looking at myself as I'm making faces there. You're not in flow. You're going in the opposite direction than what you should be going. And yeah, you might get some results. You'll probably get some results in the 3D. But they're not going to bring the happiness that you desire, because you think, I'm working, I'm white knuckling it, oh my God, oh stressed, oh drained, and then depleted at the end of the month when all the money comes in. Well, what was that? What was it for? Okay, now I'm sure you can think of some reasons, and I get it. Like, I'm not judging, I get it. I've even been there, right? Used to deplete myself, throw myself aside to help everyone else, which was an escape mechanism, so I didn't have to look at my own stuff, even though I'd already healed PTSD in myself and so many things. So I do look at my stuff, but at the same time, it can be very easy in certain ways to put yourself aside so that you can help others, right? Or so you can go into your business when you've got very real feelings going on that show a deeper attitude under the surface. And here's what I'm trying to say. Your attitude is your beliefs, your assumptions, your opinions, your expectations, the decisions you made about how life will be. And it's all like wrapped around a memory or more than one memory. And this memory is holding it together in space and time as though it's happening now. Your past self made decisions due to what happened, even when you were in the womb or 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever. You made these decisions about life. And it's usually, as a child, it's usually, oh, everything is like this. And it will always be like that. And it will never be like this. Because you're a kid and you think you know everything. And you think this is just how life is. But it's not. It's just become like that because you decided that when you were a kid. And it's like a spinning top set off into reality, spinning around with all the decisions that you already made, making sure that they come into your life to reflect back to you. Well, just because that's how it works, reflects back to you, but also reflects back to you where you're going right and where you're going wrong. So this is what I was trying to say. With the attitude, you have the attitude, and that will produce your thoughts. And these thoughts will produce, if they're not exactly how the universe is designed to work, this is a little dial on a radio, they produce static, right? And what's the static? The static is the fear you feel, the tension, the unfairness, the depression, which is repressed anger, feeling unfair and like you can't do it or the world won't let you do it, right? Feeling the shame, feeling all the negative things. So you've only got two things. You've got love and you've got fear. So everything is either a subset of fear and a subset of love. You've also got neutrality in the middle, which is the 0 point, right? And that's peace. But generally, everything is either love or fear. So any emotion that you have that's tense, that's fear. You can say, oh, I'm not scared. Then you wouldn't be feeling tense. You might not know you're scared, but this is how our personality works. We have so many subparts, subpersonalities. Now, do you know about subpersonalities? Let me know in the comments if you do. I would love to have a deeper conversation about this because this is one of my specialties. And I help people transform their lives, literally their entire realities, from healing intense PTSD, anxiety, phobias, agoraphobia, fears on camera, resistance in business, or even resistance to resting and working too much in business, which depletes you and takes time away from your health or from your family, right? That's all from fear. And it's a static on the radio. So it's really important that you get very good at listening to your feelings and start using the emotional healing work like I teach. Because once you create a relationship with your sub-personalities, then you start to get power in your life. Especially once you merge them with your higher self, or some people call it the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit and your higher self are actually the same thing. They're describing the same mechanism from different points of view. And so when you decree and declare daily, multiple times a day, you really, really need to start now, calling for your higher self or the Holy Spirit to merge with you. Holy Spirit, merge with me. Show me the truth. And especially when you find these negative programs, the tense parts of you, the part that's thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? Or, oh, it has to be this way, but it feels really tense. The way to really help this is part of the emotional healing, but we're talking about the high self, Holy Spirit merge, is to put your attention with your mind's eye on the feeling. So you know how if you're sitting here and you've got your hands like held and nowhere near your face, and I was to say, close your eyes and imagine the tip of your nose. Can you imagine that you can feel the tip of your nose without touching it with your fingers? I've only met one person that said they couldn't, but generally people can. So if you can't feel your nose, try a different area, like I don't know, your foot. And this is all you have to do. You put your attention on the pain, on the suffering, on the part of you that you wish was different, on the tense part, whatever it is. And rather than trying to change it, which is what people do, you want to bring the presence of love and compassion to it. But by putting your attention on it and really feeling it and letting it be exactly as it is without trying to change it, then you send love to it and compassion in my emotional healing. You do other things with it. But part of it is calling as you feel it, as your attention is on it. call in the Holy Spirit or your higher self, or even God, divine, whichever words you like. Higher self, Holy Spirit, feel it, feel it. Feel the desire for it. Merge with this part of me without being desperate for it either. Although if that comes in sometimes, it's fine. It's all a learning journey. But it's like, you breathe it in and that's prana. That's God. As you breathe it in, that's life force. Breathe that life force in and you will breathe in the presence of God. Feel that pain, that tension, that tightness, and it will actually talk to you as well. Like, this is part of the subpersonality work. This is part of changing your reality. Is affirmations, they have their place. 100% have their place. But if they're the only thing you're doing, you're effed. Totally effed. Because at some point, you're going to have some negative thoughts come up. No matter what you do, they're going to be there. Okay, and this isn't me being negative. This is a fact. We all as humans are here to purify our distorted emotions. And a lot of them are repressed from since when we're children. And when we're stronger, older and stronger and wiser and ready, pain will come up. And this could show up as chronic pain. Could show up as any sort of pain or life calamity. We all have problems for our life. And when it shows up, this is an opportunity for you to heal it. But if you're just doing affirmations, you're going to try to affirm over it. And then you're going to go really wonky and wonder why it's not working. And then you're not going to want to do them because they're not going to feel good to do them, because you're ignoring the part of you that's actually screaming at you. But you didn't know it was talking. You didn't know you had to feel it and listen to it, talk to it, listen to it. It's like personality. It's literally you inside of your body talking to you. It's the emotional part of you trying to get your attention. But when you're a kid, you said, no, you're not good enough. You don't get love. You get in trouble every time you come out. So I'm not going to even look at you anymore. And so what did you do? Just like all humans do, you pushed it down, 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 down. And then you wonder why there's a certain time of day that maybe you're given to a craving when you said you weren't going to do it anymore. Or maybe there's a certain type of person that you say, I'm never going to talk to that type of person again. But then you find yourself drawn to them over and over and over again. Why is that? It's because the subpersonality is running the show, but you're disconnected from it. You're disconnected from it. You're not talking to it. So it's able to be down there making its own decisions under the surface without your input because you're not connected to it. So I can help you connect powerfully with these parts of you. And these subpersonalities cause chronic pain. If you watch Dr. Bruce Lipton, he says 99% of chronic pain is emotional. And I think he's being generous because and I mean generous is in saying like it should be like 99.9%. Like it really is. Like I have not met a person yet that doesn't have emotional, and it's not even emotional root, like, oh, the emotions are down here and the pain's up here. No, it's like the pain is made up of emotion and it stagnates and solidifies in your body. And that's why when you have an injury and it doesn't heal after 3 or 4 months, it's not because of the injury. It's because you had an emotional trauma in there, which doesn't have to be a big traumatic experience. Trauma is just stuck negative energy. So you had an emotional trauma in there, and it was never dealt with. It could be like anger over something that you thought you were over because you had to get over it to cope and you pushed it down. It could be from mistreatment you had in your childhood that keeps flaring up in your life and keeps showing up through a certain type of mistreatment or lack of support or overgiving or under this or this and that. And then when it gets really, really, really strong, really, really bad, it'll eventually flow over into things like chronic illness. And this is why I have a phenomenal success rate with healing chronic pain, chronic illness, chronic pain. I know how to go in and find where it's actually living in your body and create a relationship with it so you can transform it. And the pain will eventually go away. It's incredible. So, understand that what you think matters. You have time to feel the negative, but you have to do it consciously. You must be willing to go in and feel the pain and send it compassion as it hurts without trying to change it. You must be willing to go in and feel the pain and talk to it, which means you have to listen. You don't talk to it. You don't feel the pain, say, what's wrong, pain? And then go, I wonder what's wrong. And I'm doing this because you're just trying to squeeze out a thought. You're thinking over it. It's a separate part of you. It's a subpersonality. It's a separate part of you. So if you're thinking, or saying, I don't know, which is just shutting the door of, you just gave it full on, what's the word? You revoked any permission for it to ever speak to you. I don't know. Oh, okay, I'm not allowed to know. They're trauma responses from when you were a kid. So what you need to do instead is go in, ask it, feel it. You have to turn it into, it's already a shape. You have to find its shape, discover the shape it really is, the color it seems to be, maybe what it's made out of, things like that. And when you get it in your body and you can see it as though it's a foreign object and not just a whole big feeling, and it could be a big feeling. It could be like this big. It could be all around you. It could be multiple places. But once you find it and you ask it a question, you feel it, what's wrong? And you listen for like 10 seconds, full, empty-headed, airheaded, feel it, curiously listening. This is advanced. This is what every person on planet should be doing. Okay, now I know this because I had severe complex PTSD, social anxiety, attachment disorder, crippling self-worth issues. I thought I was good for nothing. I thought everybody hated me. I thought life was hard, and it was just chaos. And it was only because I got into emotional healing, because I had a massive breakdown. And that was my gift, because it got me into emotional healing. Once I got into emotional healing, which they call energy alchemy, shadow work, it's like what EFT is based on, but what I do is somatic illumination EFT, so it's much more powerful. I combine the somatics and the breath work and the movement, because it actually gets stuck in your physical cells. It's like a river that's turned into ice, and we have to jimmy it through. Plus the illumination of God, of your higher self, of the Holy Spirit, to illuminate you with the truth, the real you. Has to be called for, has to be worked for, has to be allowed and breathed in to your body over and over and over again, over years. And now then people go, oh, I just got to do something else shorter. Well, there's nothing shorter. There's only things that aren't the full thing. So when you realize that your feelings might not be valid, because the attitude beneath them isn't true to how the universe works. And how do you know this? Because it feels fearful, it feels tense, it feels heavy when you think it, which you think it means that it's more true, it's more bad. Oh my God, I feel really scared, but it's really bad. No, you're just terrorizing yourself with these negative thoughts. You're just terrorizing yourself. And as you terrorize yourself, it's causing static on the line, which is fear and any subset of fear. And it's starting to put you in a panic, because if you're really scared, it means a tiger's about to eat you. And so, of course, you're going to get more and more panicked. And your thoughts are going to attract more and more negative thoughts until it's all overblown. You're like, oh my God, in a full-blown panic attack or some sort of other state. Whereas what you really need to do is back away. Back away from the negative thought. Just back away. It's useless. It's a useless thought. Okay? It's not going to help you. And yeah, you may have to talk to it and talk it through and reframe it to like go through the maze of your personality, which is what I help my clients do. But at some point, you also have to shut it down and be like, I'm not thinking this anymore. And they go, yeah, but they keep coming back. Yeah, because you keep indulging them. You keep agreeing with them. You're not sick and tired enough to just say, shut the F up. Shut up, thought. I'm not thinking this. No. And I'm not saying say no in a row. You can sometimes. But I'm saying no. And then the thought comes in. No. The thought comes in. I'm not thinking this. No. And then the thought comes in. No. And then the thought comes in. I said no. And the thought comes in. Now, that's what I first started when I first started getting control of my mind. I would mix it up more with like calling in higher self, calling in God, calling in divine, calling in my angels to help me transform it. I might reframe it. I might ask myself questions like, am I really sure? But sometimes you really just need to use it like a tennis racket and bat them away for an hour in a row until you get 2 minutes of peace. But you have to be so sick and tired that you're not going to start indulging and feeling sorry for yourself because you're thinking these thoughts that are making you feel bad. It's your mind. And you are the only one in control. So act like it. So if this has helped you, please share, please comment. Let me know what have been your highlights or takeaways and send this to a friend, because this is information that not that many people know. We're all flapping about on the internet and there are so many different things that do help. But what I'm teaching needs to be a foundational aspect that every person on the planet needs to know, because we all have subpersonalities and they all work in a very certain way that most people don't know about, but I've mastered it. Like, I'm sure I've got more to learn, but compared to just about every other person I've ever met, this isn't me being arrogant or anything. It's earned. Like, I've had over 10,000 hours of in-client sessions, and time again, I get my clients miracle results. When we release the blocks in your system, when we release these emotional boulders, when we connect you with your sub-personalities, and then we dissolve the boulders in your body, like the heavy heart, the lump in your stomach that comes up, the tight throat, the headaches, the pain, the aches, the anxiety, the depression, the shame, the guilt that you don't know is guilt and you just think it's a bit of stress. When we dissolve that, you naturally become a match to your desires, and you start manifesting opportunities that you didn't even know that you wanted, because what is in store for you is even better than you've imagined. But you have to learn how to stop overthinking and to revert your thinking back into the divine thinking instead of the overthinking about the problem. If you want to know more about this, let me know. I'm happy to share more resources. But if you are an ambitious spiritual woman and you're done with the people pleasing, you're done with draining yourself, you're done for living life, sure, making money, but at the same time, you're drained. Your relationships might be suffering, or maybe it all is good, except you know inside that it could be better, even though maybe on the outside it all is great and you deserve to be proud. Still, there's more. And this is a spiritual awakening. This is connecting you with your higher self. This is being in service. I know you're serving people, but there's a whole different vibe here. I'm talking about service to God's plan, to the Creator's plan. Service, knowing that you don't always have to get compensated exactly for the service that you give. Just by giving service, you will be compensated one way or another at some point. This is how it works. So, let me know your thoughts. I cannot wait to hear. Come along and let me know what your favorite highlights and takeaways have been and what you've learned today that you want to remember. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you soon. Bye.